Alright guys, so today is free-to-play launch day. A lot of new people are going to be coming on. A lot of new people are going to realize that the game kinda needs better optimization to play well. That is what I'm here for. We're going to go through mainly um, the graphics settings, things you're going to need. We're going to be going through the user options and like your keybinds. We're going to go through, we're just going to go through all the settings. There's going to be some things that we have to do in-game. There's going to be some things we have to do out-of-game. We'll go over all those in this video. So let's just get things started. I'm going to try and just do everything as fast as I can. Skip all the bullshit. Just get straight to the point. Nobody wants to listen to me jabber like I am right now. Alright, so let's get to it. User options. So essentially what your user options are is this is just going to be uh, what the game uses as like your in-game graphics. So on the left side over here we'll see mine. This is mine. If you have a higher end computer you can use this. There are some settings that may need to be changed in here. You'll notice I have HD pixel set to 1.5. Pretty much what this is we don't have anti-aliasing in this game, so if you would like the picture to be clearer, you are going to need to set this up. Like I said, I have a 1080, pretty good computer, so I can run 1.5. Most people, if they even run this over 1.0, run it at 1.1 or 1.2 max. Effects quality, I have mine at high. Model quality, I have mine at high. You guys will most likely have these all on low. Do note, shadows are the only option that can be turned off graphics wise, other than like, you know, ambient occlusion and stuff like that, ambient occlusion. So that's pretty much that. You don't really need to worry about that much if you're getting the low FPS pack. I've already gone through, made sure 1.5 is in there, 1.0. I set it to a normal resolution that isn't custom. You'll notice mine is custom. We'll go over that stuff later also. With this, I'm just going to go over through a few key points in here. Maximum FPS, you're going to want this on -1. The higher the frames in the game, the faster the loading screens go, which the faster the loading screen goes, the faster you get to the ground from your parachute, ensuring your survivability, which you want, obviously. That's why you're here. Vertical FOV, if I don't recommend going below 65. 65 to 69 is like the default camera, what people consider, and then from 70 to 74 it essentially pulls the camera back from your screen, making it so you can see more. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. You can run it whatever you want. I don't recommend below 65. You really won't notice that big of a difference going from 70 to 74. The only thing you'll really notice is the angle changes when you go from 69 to 70. So you'll play around with that. Particle LOD, this is by default set to 0. You cannot change this in the in-game options. You are going to want this at 2. This just allows bullet impacts to show on the ground. Nothing more than that, nothing less, I don't believe. If I'm wrong, someone tell me I'm wrong. It's cool. If it's on 0, it doesn't show bullet impacts, which obviously in a game with bullet lead and bullet drop, you're going to need to compensate a little bit. Don't worry really about any of this stuff. I have it set to most likely the best stuff you're going to get. You'll notice in the higher end user options pack, it's going to have my sensitivity. I don't believe in this one that this will have my sensitivity. Wherever the sensitivity is, here it is. Mouse 0.9. Oh, okay, apparently it does have my sensitivity. I run 400 DPI, so if you want to try out my settings, run your stuff at 400 DPI with this and see how you do. If you don't like it, change it, obviously. I recommend starting as low as you possibly can with your mouse sensitivity and turning it up from there. The only two sensitivity options that do not matter, and I actually recommend having them higher than you really need, would be this one. This is default 0.5. That's what I run it at. That's pretty much going to be your parachuting sensitivity. I would recommend leaving it at this. The only one I recommend turning up possibly even more would be this guy, vehicle mouse sensitivity. You're not aiming with your gun while you're driving the car, and while you're in the passenger seats, it doesn't give you this mouse sensitivity. It uses your regular mouse sensitivity. So this only applies if you're in the driver's seat. So turn this one up because you're going to need to be, looking around you, making sure you're not getting followed, etc. All right. If you guys don't want the people that I've muted, delete this stuff. I don't think past that anything in here matters. Trying to just kind of give this a quick glance over. No, it doesn't look like anything else in here is going to matter. So I recommend setting those as your settings. In your user options, keybinds, I have mine right here. I will give those to you guys also. You don't have to use them. This is just mine. You can set them to whatever you want. But yeah, that's about that for keybinds until we get into the in-game settings. Alright, so this is going to be the first edit of two. The second one's coming right after this one. Sorry for the awful transitions. Reminder, I don't know how to do video editing. This is literally my first video I've ever had to edit in shit. Anyways, alright, so I forgot to tell you guys where to install this. Pretty much what you're going to do, just open up your folder. You're going to go to your main area here. Whatever drive it is installed to, whether it be C, D, E, etc., whatever one you have. Programs 86, Steam, Steam Apps, Common. Most people have it in here. I have it installed to my SSD. If you have an SSD, I would highly recommend installing it to your SSD. You'll get faster load times from the Fort of Destiny into parachuting, which means you can get down to the ground before everybody else. Yes, I know it's kind of shitty if you have a hard drive. It sucks to suck, I guess. So, with this, where to drop these? Just right in your main H1Z1 directory. Like I said, this one is my keybinds. If you have your own keybinds, do not put this in. You do not need it. This is only if you don't know what you're doing and you kind of want a more strategically set up keybinds, some stuff that's going to help you. And do realize that I do have a few keybinds bound to my mouse, so if you don't have mouse keys, do make sure to rebound your throwable and your crouch, but crouch is also on C, so don't worry about that. So yeah, you're just going to take it, drop it into here. With these, if you have mine, it's already done, just go ahead and drop it in. With this one where it says low medium N PC, make sure you rename it, delete this crap off the end so it just says user options, and then you're going to go ahead and drop it into here. Make sure you do not drop it into any of these folders right here, just into the main root directory. After that, they'll be installed, and then now will be coming the second edit with why I want you guys to possibly take a look into using Nvidia Freestyle. And pretty much it just makes your colors more vibrant. You're going to see it in the video. I had some guy help me. Shouts to him. I don't remember his name. If you're on Reddit, thanks, dude. Yeah, so here's the second part of the video coming up. Alright, so I kind of want to show off the Nvidia filters. As you can see, at a distance, things start to get blue. Don't get me wrong, it's better than it was before. Still not as good as it was on Z1, but here we are. Yeah, so that's what it looks like normally. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop on my filters, and we can notice it looks a hell of a lot better. I am able to see. Yeah, I would be able, if someone was standing and they were head glitching one of those cars, I would be able to see it at least a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and try and find a player real quick, so let me hop on a quad or something. Let's see if it'll help me. Oh no, I'm getting shot. Let's see if it'll help me. Come on, bro. Hey bro, can you do me a favor and not kill me? Please, 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 please. Yeah? Can you help me? No? Can you please help me? Alright, hey, I'm making a video. You want to help me for like 2 seconds and you can kill me?
Yeah, what's up?
Alright, come over here. I just want to show off the difference with the colors in the video settings. Just come over here. I want to turn off the settings and turn it back on. Alright, back up. Oh, shit, we're gonna get fucking killed.
Oh, they'll kill people.
Yeah. Alright. God damn it. Dude, everybody's shooting at us. Alright, I'm just gonna do it.
I killed them too.
Alright, back up a little bit, or here, I'll back up. And you can just see that he gets a lot darker. Hey, thanks, dude. That's good enough. That'll work. Thank you. Alright, we're gonna go into a little bit of help. These options that I am going to show you are completely legal. There's nothing that can get you banned about them. They do not change game configuration files, blah blah blah. So if you have AMD, you are going to have to use Vibrance GUI, which pretty much does what all NVIDIA users can right off the bat by just going here, adjust desktop sensitivity or desktop color settings, go to digital vibrance. By default it is on 50. I keep mine at 65. You guys won't notice the difference. I notice the difference. My colors are going crazy when I just hit that bar everywhere. Yeah, so with that, Vibrance GUI, which I'm going to link a video on how to use that because I don't have to use it since I'm NVIDIA. I'll link a video. He'll explain how to essentially use Vibrance GUI, what it's for, and how it's going to help you. He's going to be doing the tutorial on CSGO. All you have to do is, instead of going to the CSGO folder, you're going to go to the H1 folder to make the difference and, you know, be able to use it in H1. Okay, so that's AMD, guys. Now for the Nvidia, guys. This is where stuff gets fun. Not really, it's not that hard. So we're going to go over to the Nvidia GeForce Experience, hop in this bad boy. We're going to go over to the gear. We're going to enable experimental features. Turn that on. In-game overlay. Turn that on. This setting, so you guys do know, before we actually get too much further into this, if you have a low-end PC, even if you have Nvidia, possibly this is going to be not for you. So this will help with making the game look better, clearer, easier to see things. It kind of gets rid of that blue film you can see at sort of a distance. It gets rid of that, at least for me. So this is going to be just for guys that have, guys and girls, that just have a higher end PC. So pretty much we would go over into the settings tab. That will pop up this. That's what we enabled the in-game overlay for, this guy right here. That will give you this game filter option. I am going to link a video on how to do the game filter also. Not because I can't show you, just because for whatever reason I tried to do it in a video earlier. This is like my third take doing this, by the way. I tried doing this earlier, like I said. For whatever reason, you guys can see this. When I go in game, you guys cannot see when I open my game filter. There's a video, like I said, I'm going to link you to. I will give you my personal settings for my game filters, and you can use them if you'd like. You can, you know, kind of base yours off mine, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to kind of show you this. This is how you enable it right here, and then I'm going to let him do the rest of the explaining just because I really can't do it myself because I would have to download another recording software, and yeah, not going through all that. Sorry. So next, this is again for NVIDIA guys only. Oh, also, completely forgot about this. The reason that this is on my desktop and why I've kind of been highlighting over it. 390.65. I will give you the direct download for the NVIDIA guys. Not the one that I have on my desktop right now. For whatever reason, the latest version of NVIDIA has made game filters stopped working for H1Z1 and some other games that used to work. So you're going to have to downgrade your graphics drivers, no, you will not take an FPS loss just strictly from going back to an older version. The driver updates have nothing to do with H1. I don't believe it. I haven't noticed an FPS difference rolling back, and I did go to the latest version and play H1 on that for a little bit, so I got to see what the FPS was like on there, and I don't notice a difference going back. So if you were worried about that, I wouldn't worry too much. The only reason I would not roll back to these drivers is, like I said, if you have a lower end Nvidia card, meaning you will not be able to use the in-game filters right here. So yeah, so this right here, you're gonna have to download this, install this. That will allow you to use this in-game. I'll pass you over to that video in the description along with the AMD's video for Vibrance GUI. Let me go through my little notepad right here that I have of stuff I want to do in this video. So we went over user options, keybinds I'll do in-game settings we'll do in-game. Went over that. Okay, one more thing we can do before going into game and doing the rest of the settings is the Nvidia control panel here. This is the place we just did the the digital vibrance app. Right above the adjust desktop color settings, we're going to go to change resolution. So to do this part, you're going to go to customize. You're going to go to create custom resolution. And you're not going to change anything in here except for horizontal pixels. You're either going to do 1728, 1600, or 1440. Also, depending on your refresh rate of your monitor, you're going to have to change this, whether it be a 60, 120, 144, or I think it's 240 or 244 if you have one of those crazy monitors. So yeah, you'll just set this option right here, your horizontal, not your vertical, keep vertical at 1080, horizontal to either 1440 or 1600 or like I'm using 1728, and then you just hit test. It'll tell you to apply it. It'll look like that here. The check marks, I don't believe they're clicked. Make sure you click them and then just OK it. Alright, and now getting into the in-game stuff. Anyways, so go over to settings, go over to gameplay. Mouse sensitivity, play with it yourself, do whatever you want. I recommend starting low, going high. I'm just going to go over the key features in here of main things that I would suggest changing. You do the rest. Okay, so camera, there's classic, static, and dynamic. Static and dynamic have a bug right now. I don't recommend using them. Pretty much what happens is if you were standing close to somebody and you shoot, the center of your reticle isn't actually where your bullet will be. So in close range engagements, your shot will be off and it won't be your fault. That's why I recommend classic, unless they fix the bug. If they fix the bug, grats to them, and let me know, because I would like to try those, but I have never tried them because there was a bug. Reduce input lag, keep that off. For whatever reason, it feels like there's more input lag when that's on. Ironic. Here's your tint. It's pretty much a color wheel, you know. Make some yellow for you guys. There's a yellow, blah, blah, blah. I like blue. Classic hit feedback. I recommend turning this on and keeping it on. So pretty much, let's say I'm using this crosshair right here. Now just imagine, take this crosshair and place it into the middle of this one here. When you shoot, little teeny lines on the side will show up without visually, because if you have seen with it off and you've shot people, you'll notice that it like spreads all over your screen, your hit marker does, and it's very visually like distracting. So with this, it's pretty much like it puts a crosshair around your crosshair just for your hit marker. Mess with it in game, you'll see what I mean. I don't want to go into game and show you all these settings. It'll make the video 50 times longer because I'm not editing this unlucky. Yeah, another thing, how to get these right here, because I believe by default the reticle style right here is to dynamic. I recommend turning this off by far. There is not bloom on the rifles anymore, which is, I believe, when they introduced this, and now there's really no reason to have it in the game, I'm pretty sure. All it really does is kind of show you when your shot's going to reset, and you can visually do that by waiting for the recoil to stop moving. So, I mean, I don't recommend that. Turn it off, and it gives you all these nice little crosshairs. 6 right here, 22 and 23 are by far the popular among the H1 community. You choose whatever you want. Summit likes this one. Uh, that's the one Storman likes. He's really good. I'm pretty sure a lot of people use 22 and 23. I like 6 and 22. Those are the two I go between. Back over here, blocked shot icon, I turn this off because you still get a blocked shot icon even with that off, but instead of it being that big red blob that takes up most of your screen, it instead of putting like I said, that big red like dot on your screen telling you your shot's blocked right under your crosshair. So if I'm using this crosshair, just imagine a tiny little blue line, or well, whatever color your crosshair is, a tiny little line right here, and that will tell you if your shot is being blocked without that big old friggin' icon thing that takes up your screen and blocks you. It's actually more of a block my screen icon rather than a block shot icon. Bullet tracers show all. That'll help you with knowing where to shoot. It'll also tell you where enemies are shooting you from. Keep that on. Shotgun dynamic reticle. So instead of this crosshair right here, when you switch over to your shotgun, it will look something like this one. It will be a little circle with a dot in the middle. It'll be a lot larger than this though. This is just kind of a visual representation, so I do not have to go in game. You can play with that in game. You can actually, like, while you're in game, you can change it on and off, see what you like. I like it on a lot. Do whatever you want. Center inventory and scale inventory, I recommend having these both on. Center inventory does exactly what it says, and the reason why I recommend it on: your mouse spawns right in the middle when you open your inventory. It is faster to get from here to here than from here to all the way over here. And every second counts in this game. I know that sounds stupid, but seriously, that half a second will save your life countless times. Also, another thing is when the inventory is centered, you can actually drag things off the left side of your inventory rather than from the left to the right, which can take a longer mouse movement. And if you're new and you're going through your inventory, it's going to kind of take you a longer time to go through and, you know, find out what you want, what you don't need, etc. So that'll just kind of help you organize your inventory more. If it's on the right side of your inventory, you can drag it to the right. If it's on the left, you can drag it to the left, blah, blah, blah. You'll figure out the rest. Scale inventory, what that does is it, so like all the stuff that you pick up off of loot bags when you kill people, the icons are a certain size. If you turn scale inventory on, it makes the icons smaller, making it easier to see all the items right in front of you, so you're not scrolling up and down. If you have this option off, you'll notice you're scrolling up and down in loot bags a lot, which the more time you're spent, you know, readjusting your eyes trying to read stuff, you're going to get shot. Or, well, look at the icons, because you don't really read, you just look at the little icons. Anyways, so player names, you can kind of do whatever you want in here. I have minimap off. It comes default on. That is completely up to you. I haven't noticed an FPS drop with having it on. It's brand new to this patch. So yeah, give it a try if you want to. I don't like it on because I already know the map by heart. I don't really need it. It will help new players locate streets, buildings, etc., etc. It will help you. All the minimap center vertically does is put it in the middle rather than from over here. Your compass is your northeast southwest indicator up top. I would recommend that on, let's say, because it gives you little number figures if you've ever played PUBG. I'm pretty sure that's where they got the idea from. So pretty much like every 5 units, it will tell you like 275, or I think it's by 10 units actually. I think it goes like 270, 280, 290, etc. And you can call out people. So if you're playing duos, you can aim in a direction your teammate doesn't know where you're shooting. You call out the numbers on your compass, and your teammate is able to shoot at them with you. That's why that helps. Compass points of interest, team members, and gas rings. I recommend having these all on. These are all things that are going to help you. Points of interest are going to show you pretty much like if you're coming up on a town, if you're coming up on a little like campground, maybe you're coming up on the auto place. compass team members. That does exactly what it says. It shows people that are on your team if you're playing duos or fives. It tells them if you are, or well, it doesn't tell you if you are. It tells you where they are. Compass gas ring. That will give you a green icon that kind of looks like some swirls. That is what you want to be going towards. If you notice you were outside of the gas ring, you can look up at your compass up top and you will see which direction you need to run simply by looking at that. You don't even need to go into your map. It'll help a lot, especially when you're driving away from an enemy player. Let's say you have a vehicle, he has a vehicle, he's driving after you. Uh, when you open your map, it's going to slow you down a little bit. You're going to have to let go of W. You're going to look around. You got to figure out where you got to go, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take that extra half a second. You're going to slow down, and he might get out of his car and start shooting at you just because you slowed down that little bit. Now you can just use your compass, go straight to the objective, bam, boom, you're out of there. That should be it for those. Key bindings. You can do whatever you want really with these. I'm just going to recommend a few things in here. Like I said, I'll give you guys mine. You guys do whatever you want with it, if you even use it at all. But there is a few things in here that I'm going to go over with you guys that I do really recommend. One thing I recommend is if you are not using static or dynamic camera, I recommend turning this to another option or just off completely. You do not need it on left control. That is going to be pretty much useless to you. Yeah, that's about it. Switch fire mode. This is new to the game. The AK-47 used to be only an automatic weapon. You can now press X while you are holding the AK-47 in your hand, turning it into a single shot rifle. You cannot do that with the AR-15. Just as a little heads up. Let me keep going through here. I'm not sure if this will help a lot of new players. This might be more for veteran players, but just something to show. Change your keybinds for changing seats to left shift 1 through 5. That means while you're boosting, when they add back seat swapping, you can just keep holding down left shift and switch into another seat without having to move your fingers all around. I find it really easy. You guys do whatever. Nothing really too important, I don't believe, in here. Oh, start and stop engine. With this is about the only useful thing other than blaring your sirens because it's funny, and honking your horn at people because that's also funny sometimes. Start and stop engine. The reason why this is going to be useful is because pretty much, let's say you are playing a regular game. You roll up and you see two people shooting at each other. They don't see you. Well, the one player sees you. The player that's really far away sees you, but you're driving up to the player closest to you from behind. You hit whatever button you set it to, minus left control right here. You hit that button, and then your car coasts. So if you're within, let's say 300 yards, 300 feet, somewhere in there, you hit that button, your car is going to turn off its engine, stop making 90% of the noise. The only thing that's going to be making noise is your tires, so you can silently roll up on someone. And I mean, you can really roll up on someone. Like, don't be afraid to go up right behind them in, like, shotgun range. I don't really want to recommend shotgun rushing because you're going to get a lot of old school players really pissed at you. So if that's your thing and you want to get your jollies off, go rush some people with a shotgun. Yeah, that's about it. Can't wait to get hate for saying that one. But yeah, you can roll up behind people. People don't hear you at all. It's actually kind of busted because it's almost dead silent. I really do think they need to turn up the volume a little bit. But for now, until they fix it, we'll let people exploit it until they fix it. This is another thing for older players, well, and newer players, because you guys are going to need to know about this too. Render distance. At 500 render distance, that is max player render distance, so you will not see a player render in past that distance. Now, the exception, I guess, to this is, and I don't even know if you can actually shoot the people at this distance or even their car, because I've never personally really tried, is pretty much, like I said, 500 distance and below is going to be players only. and then max vehicle render in is 1500. So you never really need your render distance above 1500, and you'll also notice a very, very big performance hit. What I recommend doing is having your render distance to 500 in cities and 1000 in fields. The reason being why I don't go to 1500 is not only because of lag, but is because if somebody is 1500 meters away, uh, they're usually not that big of a problem. And if you are actively seeking kills, usually you aren't going for the person that's 1500 meters away from you. So I keep it at 1000. If somebody's within 1000 meters of me in a car, it's kind of good to know just in case I want to, keep situational awareness up. Yeah. So keep it at 1000 if your computer can handle it. If not, 500 is not a bad choice. You'll never really be put at a disadvantage. No one's shooting you over 500 meters. If you get shot over 500 meters, it's a hacker. Report them. And know if somebody's shooting you at 400 meters, they're most likely not hacking. A lot of people just have nuts aim on this game. Oh, and now for the thing for older players that they probably don't know. A lot of people have been asking for mouse scroll render distance, and they have given it to us, but they didn't say anything. So I figured I'd bring it up and let you guys know. Point and mute players, that's going to be a good thing for new players. If you are killed or you kill somebody and they are talking trash, press Control T while they are talking. You will point and mute that player. Another thing you can do is Control R, I believe it is. Let me find it. I think it's Control R. I don't think there's going to be an option in here. I don't think it's in here. Anyways, I think Control R reports a player. So if a player is being rude to you, saying, not just trash talk. People are going to trash talk you in this game. That's why I told you to mute if you're not okay with being trash talk constantly, because people are assholes in this game. But if somebody is actually verbally harassing you, Control R, and there's going to be an option menu, and yeah, you can report them from there. Or if they kill you right after you die, don't hit replay. There should be a report menu in there also that you can use. So just letting you know that. If you ever have a glitch where your mouse gets stuck on your screen, so like you're walking around and randomly your mouse pops up, this button right here, minus, between 0 and the plus sign, right next to the backspace. Hit that, it should fix it. I don't know why it's still in the game. Blame Daybreak. Mute proximity voice. If you don't want to talk to anybody at all, which I kind of recommend talking to people, because talking to people in this game can sometimes be really fun, and it's actually hilarious getting into a battle with someone and then they stop and ask you how your day's going, while you're in the middle of trying to murder each other. It's pretty fun. So I don't really recommend turning it off unless it gets really bad. So, yeah. Voice chat, you can change it here. Which buttons you use, these are mine. Figure it out what you want, what's easiest for you. Emotes, doesn't matter. I think that's it. Gameplay, I went through that. Keybinds, went through that. Oh, there's a few things in graphics. One thing for Nvidia users, you're going to notice now that in here, because we've created those custom resolutions, your custom resolutions will be here. So the normal one is 1440 by 900, which will still be there for you. But if you have the custom options, it will change it to 1440 by 1080 if you would like. Same with 1600 by 900. That is a default option that comes with the game. 1600 by 1024, I'm not sure if this comes with the game, but I didn't add a custom resolution, so I'm not 100% sure. Probably comes with the game. I don't know. Here's 1600 by 1080. This is the custom one we added, and then this one is an in-game, and back to mine. This is the one I use, so I'm just going to put it back to that. Yeah, set it to whatever you want. AMD users, I recommend setting it to 1440 by 900 or 1600 by 900. Nvidia users, we already went over everything that we needed to, so pick whatever one you like. Kind of mess around with the different resolutions, see what you like. Yeah. Brightness, I don't recommend turning this up. It will make the colors look really, really washed out. It actually doesn't make things brighter. It just washes colors out. So have that at 0. That's why we turned up digital vibrance. Digital vibrance will make the colors pop. Field of view, don't recommend below 65. Actually, I think I went over this earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to stick with the stuff that we didn't go over earlier. Sorry. Trying to keep this as short as possible, even though this is probably like a 30-minute video right now. Render quality. This is not in your user options. This is an option that is not associated with HD Pixel, in case anybody was wondering. This is completely different. If you have a medium end computer, don't really recommend turning this up. If you can, maybe even turn it up 10%. Do it. If you can't, keep it at 100. It's not that big of a deal. I played it 100% for how long has this game been out? Anyways, so if you have a good enough computer, 150% that stuff. That's what I do. Render distance, we went over this. Don't go over 1500. The only reason you go over 1500 would be if you are parachuting down or if you are looking for an airdrop. If you're parachuting down, 2500 render distance is usually good enough. Excuse me, I haven't had a drink of water and I've been talking for a little bit. Usually 4000 is good for airdrops. So yeah, just keep it under 4,000 for, well, 4,000 or below for airdrops, 2,500 for when you're dropping from your parachute, 1,500 if you have a really good PC when you're out in fields. I usually run with just 1,000, like around. It doesn't matter where I'm going. Once I land on the ground, I set it to 1,000, and that's just how I play the game. If your computer is not good enough, this will not put you at a disadvantage. Turning this to 500, like I said, players only render in 500 meters and before. The only thing you're not going to see is players in vehicles from 1500 meters out. So, and if they're that far out, I guess they really don't even matter that much, right? The only thing in here that you should have everything on low and off if you have bad computer. The only thing you should have turned up if you have a good computer would be model quality, and did they take environmental quality out of the in-game options? Oh, texture quality. Here it is. Why is it turned down? I usually have mine on medium, high, medium, everything on low. Make sure shadows is off. It kind of looks like low is the lowest option you can go, but no, you can actually go off with shadows. Alright, excuse me again. I think that's about it. Went over just about everything. Oh, bring this up. Right here, you'll notice we got solos, duos, fives, auto royale, which is the new game mode. You can see that one. That's some big old letters right there. And then combat zone. This right here is going to be your saving grace. If you really want to get good at this game, you really like this game, this is your place to go. This game, honestly, don't get me wrong, you got to use your brain a lot of the time to outplay players, especially because players in this game are really good. But 90% of the time, straight up aim. Straight up aim wins every battle. Really, it does. It does. There's been plenty of times where I'm in the middle of a street jumping around, just not even with a care in the world. I get shot in the back once. I see a guy aiming over a wall where his head's sticking out. I two-tap him. I go on with my day. I either go loot him or I get back in my car or, you know, go whatever I'm doing. It really is just, this game is very aim-heavy. This is the CSGO of Battle Royales. So, get ready for a learning curve. And don't shy away. Yeah, that should be about it. I think I wasted enough of your time. Have a good day.